things when you're having a reconstruction. You can do silicone, saline, the whole Kim Kardashian crap, all that. But I just happened to have seen on the news 2 days before something called a tramp flap. A tramp flap is where they take your own body fat and reconstruct with the body fat. Just happened to have seen it. So when the doctors tell me, well, I can do this, I can make you yay big, I'm like, no, I'm good, thank you. I want a tramp flap. He said, no, I can give you saline. No. I don't want to do any of that. I want it the natural thing. He said, you have no fat. I said, I'm going to make me some, watch. And I did. So I made myself some. It took a minute, but I did. And so, went through all that. But what happened with that is they took my fat from here. So it's like a C-section, and then they reconstruct the breast, and then they have to attach bottles to you called Jackson Platts, I think they're called, and they suck out all the gunk from the surgery, and you have to empty them twice a day. So I did that for maybe like 3 weeks. So I thought the tubes in me were like this big. I had 8 different procedures throughout my whole chemo breast cancer thing, about 8. I was always good until when you've taken out these bottles. I thought it was like an inch or a couple of inches long. These things were a foot each. So when you pull them out, I'm fainting, thinking, oh my God, I've got 4 of these things inside of me, and oh my God, and he was like, you'll be all right. So it was horrific. But it was good though. But it meant that I couldn't leave the house for a month because I was in so much pain. I had a C-section pretty much. Then I had these things sewn to me, then I had to go back for more reconstruction, blah, blah, blah. And so when my neighbour knocked on the door and said, can I help you? I was bent over double, really couldn't move. She said, can I help you? I said, no, I'm good. I wasn't good, but I didn't have to receive the help. I didn't. As much help as I think I do, I didn't have to receive it, so I didn't receive it, and it was a mistake. So I would advise anyone going through anything, if you've got the help, family, friends, or whoever it is, take it. It wasn't even pride, I just didn't know how to receive it. Because I thought if I accept it, I'm going to go to a place of like, oh my God, and be all, distraught and everything. I didn't want to be in that mode. So I didn't do that. So anyway, because of the support though, some people brought me organic fruit, some people brought me, some people did bring me food and I accepted it. After a while, I learned how to do that. But it was tough. It's nothing, there's nothing good about breast cancer at all, or any cancer for that matter, except surviving it. And being able to say, this is what you do, this is what I did to survive my journey. And it's different for everybody. Some people are great, some people are happy all the whole time. Me, not so much. There were times when I was just mad at the world. And when I went back to work, I was a beast. My colleagues would say, well, do you want some tea? I'd say, sure, yeah. They'd bring me the tea, and I'm like, why would you bring me tea? What are you, an idiot? I was in such an awful state of mind that I just was angry. Stop laughing, Dilly. I was in such an awful state of mind that I was in pain, and I was vexed. So people came at me sometimes with kindness. I'm just like, that. It might be just me, but then I've seen other people who are equally. When I did human books, I was talking about, I did the tramp flap and I got reconstruction and I'm great, my hair's coming back, And there's a woman who started yelling at me from the audience. Well, I've got to have a double mastectomy. They didn't tell me I had breast cancer. And she was mad because 6 months ago they told she had breast cancer. And she did all the right things. She did her mammograms and the self-examination, and she was fine. Went to the doctor one day, she had breast cancer. She was angry. I didn't know what to say to her, because I was like, so here's me being positive and yay, and she's mad at the world where I had been. So I understood her pain, I did. But I didn't know what to say to her, because she didn't want to hear it. So, and she left before I could meet her with her. But then there's another guy, a white guy as it turns out, who had 2 wedding bands on. And he said to me, I just want to thank you for what you said, because my wife died of breast cancer. Here's her wedding ring that I wear all the time to remind me of, our union or whatever. And then other women would come and say, thank you for saying these things. It's hard to go through this journey again. It's hard telling the story again and again and again, because you have to go to that place, which was not great. But it's 2007. I'm still here, inshallah. Thank God I'm here, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful. So I decided to do a support group. That was my whole plan. The whole time I'm going to support group and talk to other sisters about surviving the journey and their families who go through also. Then I started dropping stuff and tripping, and my arm was paralyzed. And I'm driving to Harlem every day from Brooklyn, going to work. And my leg goes dead, so I'm driving with one arm and one leg, and I'm like, this is crazy. But I didn't know what it was. When I did the tram flap, my surgeon said, listen, because you had your C-section, you can't carry anything more than 5 pounds. So I said, being cocky, I'm a black woman, we wake up carrying 5 pounds. I don't know what you're talking about, I'm good. So when I had, when my arm went, my shoulder went dead, I thought maybe I trapped a nerve. I thought about what he said about not carrying anything more than 5 pounds. And I was moving back from Harlem to Brooklyn. So I was carrying everything by myself in my little Chevy and unpacking it in the new house and all of that. I was doing all that by myself because I'm a one-man army and all that. And so I thought maybe I trapped a nerve. So when my arm went dead, I thought, I've trapped a nerve, crazy me. Went through all these tests, I hadn't trapped a nerve, I have MS. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I'm like, Lord, why, all this, why me, all that. So I went through all the different tests again, and I did spinal tap, the whole bit, blah, blah, blah. And I think the MS, one of two things, either the government gave it to me as the cancer, or it's a byproduct of the chemo. It's probably what it is. However, MS is a different kind of animal altogether. It is. So, and it affects you in different ways. Sometimes you have a great day, you don't even remember you have it, then it will remind you. So MS is like tingling in my extremities. I forget sometimes I can be looking at you and I have no idea what your name is. I'll say, hey, you, and you're like, and I'm no. But then they'll come back. So you adapt to living with something like that. You don't succumb to it. You don't say, oh my God, MS has me. You don't do that, because that's not where you can live. That's not going to help you survive it and live with it. So I formed a group called Square Circles for breast cancer survivors. And so I call it Square Circles because I think I'm a square circle. And anybody who knows me will say, I'm a little bit strange, right, Brother Jalil? A little bit off. What that? Okay. A little bit off, a little bit, no, and I like it like that. I'm not the average bear, I would say that. And so I'm Nigerian parents, raised in England, living in America, with different experiences, and I'm just, a little bit, I don't go with the mainstream because that's not how I was raised. Exactly. So people think, what are you talking about? I'm just like, somebody said to me, for example, last week, isn't it great about the height tub and being on the $20 bill? I said, no, it ain't. There's nothing good about it, nothing. What do you mean? I said, listen, it's patronizing, it's condescending. I don't want my heroes on their money. There's nothing positive about that. Nothing positive about that. And they're doing it to try and make you feel, oh, well, you belong. I don't want to see Brother Malcolm on a stamp. I've said to their family, what are you doing? This is not a good look. But I know what it is. It's trying to make you feel like, we love you. And you don't. And that's cool, because we don't love you either. So that's all right. I don't mind you not being where you are. Live where you are. Donald Trump is popular because he speaks their truth to them. Their natural born race is what they think. Cool, that's you. I don't try and dissuade you from that opinion. So it's called Square Circles. And it's a support group for black women and their families who've gone through breast cancer mostly. What I'm finding is, though, we did an event at Sister's Place last October, and what I found to my dismay was the number of brothers who spoke at the program. And they had tales about their moms and their aunts and their sisters who went through breast cancer and how it affected them. And they kind of knew, but they kind of didn't know, and I was shocked how open they were. It was a really intimate setting. Some of the sisters came from the mosque, Brother Dalil came, and it was a really open and intimate experience. And I realized that people just want to talk about their experience with this. They just want to, because we don't talk about it. Like when the sister said, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. And I'm dying inside. I'm like, no, I'm good. That's what we do. Because we don't know how to receive the assistance all the time, because we're so used to just, being pregnant with twins and carrying a house on our head and bags on our, that's what we do. And the world, hated us as we do it. That's just what we do because that's who we are. And we shouldn't be that way, especially when we have a community like this. Take the assistance, So Square Circles is for women, black women and their families who are going through it. And it's sometimes just a phone call. I'm calling them or they're calling me. Or I have a website, squarecircles.org. I'm on Facebook, Square Circles 1. For people just to get information, and I put the different philosophies. So I put stuff about chemo and radiotherapy, but I also do stuff about natural healing. and food and the diet and exercise and all of that, so that people can have an option. Because who am I to say to a woman, you shouldn't do chemo, it's awful, look what that, or to say to somebody, you've got to eat a leaf. You have to make a choice, but make an informed choice and research your doctors and research the whole process, because what works for one doesn't work for another person. It's a horrible thing which they've given to us, which they've created, because too many people have it.
That's right.
I've done the Susan G. Komen one for about 7 years, and I do it because I want other black people to have the optics of the support. Even I don't support Susan G. Komen per se, because I don't know that's really bad and where the money goes, I don't know. But I want you to see that you can have this and survive it and be okay, thrive and survive. That's what I want people to know. So that's why I go on the walks in Central Park every September. But the thing is, the women are getting younger than I'm seeing. I'm seeing women who are 20, 25 with breast cancer. One of my interns, I did a big two-piece article in the Amsterdam News in 2008 about my journey. And I got calls from everybody. You remember Brother G2 where you sit? Does anyone know him?
Yeah.
I saw him at Medgar Evers about a couple of weeks after I did the article, and he said, Naya, I read your article, and I cried. Now, G2 was 6'7" something. They called him Big Black. You was crying, Big Black? He said, yeah, because what you said was effective. And I thought, wow, that's deep. And it inspired me to... Sharing the story is hard because you have to go through to that place again. But if it helps somebody, then because I couldn't have gone through all that bleeding and cutting and crying and anger for nothing. Somebody else has got to benefit from my experience. That's what I believe. So that's why I do it. But it's not easy. So even though we did the big event in October, I've not done a big event since then. Why? Because on the real, it's really hard to go back there. So I'm calling these ladies, I'm doing individual conversations. This big thing, I haven't done it for a minute, but I will. But it takes a lot out of you because you have to have the fortitude to keep saying, yeah, this is what happened to me, and oh my God, it was awful. But I'm blessed to be able to be here and doing this. I turned 50 last Saturday, and thank you. And I say that because I don't have to be here. None of us have to be here. But here we are. What does Minister Fils always say? Every day above ground. Right. And so I always say that when everybody asks me. So I always say, and so I'm aware of how anything could happen. One of the brothers I was talking to the other day said he's lost his family members in a car accident last week. Anything can happen. So I'm blessed and I'm grateful. And I'm happy that I can share my story, so maybe if anyone else is going through it, they can call me, they can email me, they can text me, and maybe 2 or 3 words might help. One of my interns called me, she's 27 maybe. She said, I read your story in the Amsterdam News, and I've got what you had. Wasn't quite sure what she meant, the MS, or which one do you mean? She had the breast cancer. I said, oh, okay. I said, so what are you going to do? She goes, well, they want me to do double mastectomy, and I don't know, and she was angry. I said, well, just be calm, just be easy, just relax a little bit. Tell me how you're feeling. So we talked about an hour and a half. She was mad at her parents. She kept snapping at her father. Her father didn't know how to handle her situation. So I was saying to her, sis, your dad doesn't know how to talk to you about it because you're his baby girl. And he's trying to hear you and feel you, but he doesn't know how to because you're in so much pain. I said, but you're going to be all right. She said, well, I don't have a boyfriend, and da-da-da. I said, listen, any man who can't handle what you're going through and doesn't want to be with you because of what you went through isn't a man for you anyway. So don't worry about that. The right man will come to you. And trust and believe, it's not the end of the world, because the right brother who understands what it is will be able to embrace you. So that's the least of your worries. Right now, let's try and figure out what kind of help you can get, what kind of treatment you can get, and let's help. When I was doing a PET scan one day, the technician said to me, I'm about to go under it's like an MRI, I'm about to go under the donut, and she said to me, all vexed, how did you hear about this? Why are you here? And I said, what does that mean? She goes, they don't tell us about PET scans. How did you get here? I said, well, sister, since you're the technician, maybe you should tell us about PET scans, since this is what you do. You tell your church or your community or your mosque, wherever you go to, about PET scans. Because I didn't know about it until my doctor said, you need to get a PET scan. You have to be the one to tell us, because we don't know. So the information is key. And so that's what Square Circles is about, just to talk about anything. With me, I'm like, ask me anything. I'm good. You know what I mean? I'm very open, more public to my detriment. but I want people to know what it's really like. It's not like the commercial. It's not pretty. You're not walking through fields of daisies. It's painful, but you can survive it like anything. It's painful. Childbirth is painful, sisters, right? It's painful. Some people do it more than 5 times. Some people do it. I have a friend who's got 11 children. She's old school though. She's in the 70s from South Carolina. But 12 children she had. That's a lot of natural birth, a lot of pain. But she did it because that's what she was able to do. So I'm saying what to say. Breast cancer is a beast. It's awful. But you can, ancestors willing, survive it. And you do that with support and information. And having the choices, have informed choices. So if you want to go the Western route, then do that. If you want to do the alternative route, then do that too. It's a personal choice for everybody. I'm here to help. If anybody wants to ask me any questions about what it is they can do, please feel free. Please feel free to ask me. I have some information here. I have my website. You can contact me. Even if you just want to talk about it. Information is everything. And mammograms aren't fun at all. But maybe they're necessary. I'm not sure. I don't know. Self-examination is key also, women, ladies. Just don't listen to it. Don't let a man say to you, don't do it, because sit down somewhere. If you feel the need to, you know yourself. And if you don't feel right, you probably aren't right. You know your body. Don't be afraid to say, you know what, I'm not feeling great today. Let me just try and see what's going on with me. Because going through that, the earlier they catch it, better your chance of survival. I believe that. So whatever you need to do to survive for your family, for yourself, do that. Don't listen to anyone else tell you, but I wouldn't do that because blah, blah. But even when we did the thing at Sister's Place, we had different strategies. Some of the women said, well, I've never been to a doctor in my life, and I'm great, and I'm a vegan, and I'm great. And that works for some people. For some people, it does not. So your journey is your journey. It belongs to you. Don't be afraid to just take your own journey and live your life, but protect yourself. Sisters, protect yourself. Don't. We always look after the family first. What is that thing on the plane where they say put on the mask on yourself first? If the mask is dropped. No one's doing that. You're going to do it for the babies first. At least I know, but I probably would because I just would. I probably would, and God forbid, I hope it never happens. But if it did, I would. But that's how we respond to our families. We look after the brothers first, the children first, and then maybe us, if you have an angel left. With something like breast cancer, if mom's not all right, the family's not all right. So you've got to look after yourself and make sure that you know how well you're doing. And go to the doctors. Go to whichever doctor you go to, natural, native, alternative, Western, whoever it is, look after yourself. Your health is wealth. It is. Corny, cliche, but it's true. I know y'all want to go home, so I'm going to stop. But as I said, please don't be afraid to come and ask me. Just email me, text me, whatever, and ask me anything. Because I'm here to help, because I couldn't have done all that bleeding and crying and carrying on for nothing. I know someone's got benefit from that pain, so please feel free to ask me, okay? So, square circles, for all your square circles. Well, let's give square circles too. Don't be afraid, just be you. Yes, Brother DeLeo. You have a question for me?
I just first would like to thank you for coming out on behalf of the minister and other neighbors for being here today and sharing that wealth of information. I just wanted to say, from that meeting at Sister's Place back in October, everybody was open. I mean, like you said, the brothers were being open, and that was touching because a lot of us as brothers, we hold it in. Whether it's our wives, our daughters, whatever, but the way the brothers came and expressed themselves and giving support to the sisters who were there, that's what the community does. That's what the family does. And by having you here and let everybody know that you're willing to network with not only the cancer patients, but also the families and the other, I think that's a way of continuing to grow and to learn, how to be protective and how to be supportive and how to, be there for one another, because that's key.
Yes.
That's what everybody else does in their community, so we have a strong bond. And lastly, I noticed the different things that you went through, you didn't try to sway people one way or other. You know, that was very open of you and honest with you. You know that there are different ways.
Yes.
The sister who was there who had a natural pathway medicine, and then the other doctor was there.
Yes.
She had her thing there. And just to hear the pastor, Pastor Michelle, you know,
Right,
right. I mean, you know, this is the type of energy we wanted to bring here today. We were hoping that we have more sisters and brothers here, but you know, it's not a video or anything like that. And I just want to thank you.
You're more than welcome.
I always learn from you, so
Thank you, brother.
I just want to thank you again, and I hope everybody gains something from the information that you brought here. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thank you for sharing your story.
You're more than welcome.
I am a caretaker of a survivor. Everybody here knows my husband is a cancer survivor.
Right.
And a colon cancer survivor as well. And although I don't know your side of the journey, I do know the caretaker side of the journey, which is also quite painful, but in a different way. And the same thing that you're doing, we did here at the mosque. We had WADI, which spells out my husband's name, but the acronym stood for Wellness and Divine Intervention.
Right.
Because the same thing, he did not want his, well, I did. It wasn't really him. It was the way of trying to do something, trying to be active, trying to not feel helpless.
Right, exactly.
And so the brothers came together and they organized a session where they came and they spoke and they shared and they spoke, talked with each other about what they were going through, their health condition, their health issues, and the reason for that being, like you said, this can't be for nothing.
Exactly.
It can't be for nothing. It has to be something good to come out of that. And so, you know, I thank you so much for coming in and sharing your story. I don't know why I feel like you're talking directly to me.
Listen, because
directly to me, you know, but I really want to let you know. And I do understand the courage that's required to go back to that space. And we also have the technology that will help with that if you're interested, but it doesn't seem like it's bringing you to any negative energy, but that it just takes a little courage to keep going back there. So I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
And I want to thank you for coming.
Thank you for sharing your story. Because the caretakers too go through it, and it's amazing what you have to go through because you're watching your loved one go through this pain, and if you might feel helpless, but trust and believe the caretaker gives that person that extra strength. Because at any point through any of my surgeries, I could have given up. You can will yourself to die. You can. You can give up. You can. I didn't give up because I had 2 children.
And I just think about you going through, I'm like, oh my goodness, she's not married, she was going through it by herself.
It was rough.
Somebody, you know.
But there was one time when I had the port in my chest got infected. The day I was supposed to start chemotherapy, the port, my brother's a surgeon, so I said to him, this thing's hurting me. He said, go to the ER. I said, no, I'm going to start chemo on Tuesday to Sunday. He said, go to the ER. I said, no, I'm good. So the day they were supposed to start chemo, the doctor said, that's infected. You can't go into surgery. I can't give you chemo, she said. I said, you just saw me drink some tea. She goes, well, we'll give you an anesthetic. Fine. So you have to go now because it's the OR's open now. It was press day. So I'm on the phone talking to my editor about what's going in the paper. And they're saying, you have to come now because the OR's open now. So they have me on the gurney thing, whatever, and they're putting the IV in my hand. And I'm saying, 1 minute I'm trying to talk to and I'm fighting. They call security to come get the phone. I'm still stressing about the thing. So they put me on the thing. I'm in the OR. All the doctors are there. So they start cutting me. I said, wait, I can feel the blade. He said, we'll give you more anesthesia. I said, it's not working, and it feels like boric acid. It's hurt. That's more painful than the cutting. They said, we'll give you some more. I said, okay. They gave me some more. It's still burning. I said, listen, I can't do this. So they said, okay, we won't give you any more. But then they're cutting me. So I'm awake. I'm feeling all the cuts. I'm feeling them pulling out this port. I'm feeling them stitching me up. And I can't do anything because if I cry, I'm going to jolt and they're going to cut something else, cut an artery, something, I don't know. So I can't cry because they're cutting me and they're stitching me. And so it was the worst kind of, it was like childbirth. But it was part of my journey. So if I have a friend who says to me when I'm in pain, just meditate, just play it away. And I'm like, that you can't, no, that doesn't really work. You can't really pray all pain away. When you're in pain, you're in pain. So that meditation piece, I get it, because I had to meditate that particular day, so I didn't scream and grab one of the doctors by the throat, which is what I wanted to do. The same doctor said to me, oh, we're going to go back in. I said, you will never in life touch me again. As a matter of fact, I might sue. They said, well, you can say that, but they're going to try to save your life. So you can't, so whatever. So we have levels of pain tolerance that you can go through. What you didn't think you could go through, you can go through because you just have to. And so with my particular thing, I had my 2 children. So I didn't want to give up. I couldn't give up. So I went through all. If I was single with no kids, I wouldn't have done any of those surgery. I wouldn't have done chemo, I wouldn't have done surgery, I would have done none of it. I wouldn't. But I had to survive for my children, so I did. And so that's just how we are as a family, as a community. We do for our family. And so we don't. And so I'm saying to the sisters in particular, please just, self-examine, and if you don't feel right, then go and see whoever you see to feel better. And it's the most selfless thing to do is to look after yourself, because we always put it off. Brothers too, y'all don't be going to a doctor because you think you're tough, and you are, and all that. God bless you. But take yourselves to whoever you need to make sure that you're okay, because the world revolves around y'all. So if you're not all right, we're not all right. So be all right, so we can be all right. So I'm going, and I want to go home. Appreciate y'all. I have some flyers, some pamphlets. I've also got some of these if you want them. I think Brother Dalil over here. And I have some information. So if you want to contact me, please do. If you just want to talk about whatever, just call me and I'll if I can't deal with it, I'm not medical or anything, but I can put you in touch with those who can talk to you about these things, and also practitioners who are into alternative ways of healing us. So thank you for having me. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Let's give a stronger round of applause for our sister, Nayeba Arinde. Thank you very much. Brothers and sisters, that concludes our presentation. I'd just like to give thanks to Sister Carrie with her presentation, Sister Erica, and who am I missing? Brother Henrik, his presentation. Thank you for your time and your patience. Assalamu alaikum. If we could just please stand and close out in prayer. What was that announcement? Okay. Please, brothers and sisters, before you leave, buy something from some of our vendors. And there's nice food in the back, and Brother Barry selling nice dairy products, navy beans, and Brother Haskell has some nice products for you to take home as well. All right, attention prayer. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, all praises are due to Allah, Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Merciful, Master of this day of judgment which we now live. Thee alone do we serve, you alone do we beseech for thine aid. O Allah, guide us on a straight path, the path upon whom thou hast bestowed favors, not the path upon whom thou wrath hast brought down, nor those who go astray. Amen. Brothers and sisters, please go in peace. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Sir, excellent presentation, sir.